As a guitar player, something that's consistent is you're always evolving in terms of your skills, and with that comes the need to also upgrade your instrument. Hi, my name is Keegan Moraes. I am the product specialist here at ProCraft, and today we're going to talk about some HEX guitars here. The idea is that as a guitar player, if you're looking for your second or your third guitar, you want something that's an upgrade from the one that you have, and you also want something that sounds better on stage, sounds great in studios, because you're at that level where you're performing, you're kind of making a career out of your music, and you want a solid instrument to do that. Now, what I mean by having an evolved guitar is that you have something that's an all solid body, and all solid guitars obviously have better sound projections, they have better overtones, and that's something that you need when you're a professional musician. So let's talk about the guitar that we have here today. This is the GA400, and it's an all solid body construction, which, as I mentioned, is something that you want in terms of getting great sound. It's got a solid Sitka spruce top, and it's got a solid back end sides that's made of African sapel. Even if you lift it up, it's got a decent amount of weight to it because of the density of the wood on here. Now, spruce tops are generally known to have a brighter sound. If I just play something, you can hear those brighter overtones just ringing. And because it's a solid top, it also has a very consistent decay. The notes don't just die out, they maintain a long sustain along with the overtones. So just to show you what I mean. So you can hear as the note decays, it kind of travels, it moves along, and that gives a nice sense of when you're recording, it's going to work well with other instruments as well as with vocals. And talking about vocals, this is a great guitar for even singers because it has a bright sound, and if you're a singer that requires a bright tone to complement your voice, this is going to be a great tool to have. Moving on to the specifications, you've got a mahogany neck and you've got a rosewood fingerboard. With HEX, the detailed construction on here means that the finishing is really premium. It's got a nice feel to it. It's a slightly thinner neck, but that doesn't mean it's too thin. You can nicely get a grip on this, and if I just turn this around, you can just see the finish on here. It's not a complete gloss finish. The issue that a lot of these thick glossy finishes is that when your palms get sweaty, it tends to get sticky over here. It doesn't feel rough either. It's just in that sweet spot. Moving on to just the tuning machine heads itself, they feel really smooth. And what's important about these machine heads is tuning stability. And one test for that is whenever you're tuning up, whenever you're tightening, if you find that the tuning keys are resisting that, it means that there is strain on the gears inside, and that's not good because it's going to give you tuning instability. But with the HEX, it's absolutely effortless. It doesn't feel like there's any kind of load on the gears inside, which means that it's going to stay put, it's going to stay consistent no matter how hard you play. Saddle and the nut are made of oil bone, which is a harder material. On your budget level guitars, you'll probably get something that's plastic, and that means that you're going to have problems with fret buzz, with intonation, and also when you're playing, your strings will start to move around. It tends to create these grooves. So with oil bone being a harder material, it's more resistant to wear. So even though you have 11 gauge strings on these, it's still not going to create any unnecessary grooves. And that's the main thing, that you want to have something that's really solid, which transmits the vibrations of the strings into the body without losing any kind of sound. This is a grand auditorium shape with a cutaway, and what that means is it's got a decently wide bout, but at the same time it's easy to play because it doesn't have like a more flatter surface up here like the dreadnoughts. So it's easy for you to play. You can actually see the guitar while you're playing. It's absolutely effortless. My arms rest nicely on here. And if that wasn't enough, this also comes with a Fishman Sonitone pickup. And this is a very high quality pickup. So if you listen to the sound itself, it actually transmits the guitar sound perfectly through your piezo. It's got a piezo style that sits under the saddle. And again, the oil bone saddle helps transmitting those vibrations into the piezo, which just gives you a more fuller sound. Talking about the controls itself, it actually sits inside the sound hole. So that means there's no additional cavity that you're making on your guitar. Now, with some guitarists, it might be a concern that having a cavity here for a pickup or for the EQ controls, it would affect the sound of the guitar. And to solve those problems, we have the sound hole pickup. The controls are in the sound hole, but it's still a piezo style pickup. And that kind of solves all your problems, whether you're a stage musician, whether you're a studio musician, or even if you're someone who's just looking for a high quality guitar that you can play at home. You can use it for your songwriting purposes, or you can just use it to jam along. This is something that will serve all your purposes. So this is the HEX GA400.